You're having a plonk cast. Welcome to F1 Show podcast. I'm the host of the most, Wayne, and this is the man in the pits with the tits, Brendan. How are you, sir? Let's have a round of applause for Brendan as well.
Thank you very much. Very good.
Very good. Okay, what have we got to talk about? As always, and even if we haven't, we always find something not to talk about.
Yeah, we'll make it up.
So, where should we go? With no news this week, people. I've had a stressful week. I'm going to be honest. I know. Where's the R button? Where's the R? I haven't got one. I'm going to have to go on the soundboard, wouldn't it? So, until Our Majesty the Queen's buried, I will not be doing the news. That's my excuse. I'm using it. But
everyone else seems to be using it.
We got copyright strikes for the last podcast, and I'm pretty sure because I put the national anthem on at the end with a picture of the Queen right at the end. Surely,
I thought national anthem wasn't copyrighted.
And there was a picture of the Queen, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't a copyright issue. I don't know. It's either that or that clip of Gunther Steiner. Maybe he's copyrighted everything he said. It's copyrighted.
Yeah, maybe. I got attacked by the Facebook police today for the first time ever.
Oh, tell me more.
One of the groups I'm in, one of the Navy groups I'm in, somebody posted some information with a web link on it, and it was all kosher. It wasn't selling anything, just promoting the services to people of a similar age and mindset. And I just put up a comment saying, thank you very much. This is information that I will use. And Facebook police wouldn't allow it. And then I posted another one saying, I don't understand why my previous comment wasn't allowed. And that got disallowed as well.
Was that on your personal Facebook, yeah?
Yeah, on my personal Facebook.
And you can't divulge the nature of the information shared?
Oh, yeah, it was medical information about hip replacements. And it was, the guy wasn't selling anything. He was just talking about his experience, and he just made a recommendation. And that was, but surely if it was a post that had the issue, they would take the post down and I wouldn't be able to see it. But I commented on it. And yeah, it was a weird one. Anyway.
Wow. They're tyrannical. I tell you. I'm pretty sure YouTube are suppressing our subscriber count.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, really, we've got about 1 million, but they just don't want it.
There are other F1 podcasts that get an awful lot of views, and I wonder how. I do really wonder how, because it's absolute tosh.
Yeah, not like us. We know what we're doing.
Yes.
We don't pretend to be quality driven. But anyway, we're driven. But
did you enjoy the race?
I did, right up until the last bit.
Yeah, as everyone said, it was an all right race. It was.
So wait. We're going to start with good race, bad race, or we're going to start?
Yeah, let's start with that then.
Let's have good race, bad race.
Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on, whoa.
There's the lovely intro. Good race, bad race. So, who are we going to start with?
Good race, Max Verstappen.
Obviously, Max Verstappen.
You have to admit, yes, he's got a good car, but from 9th to 3rd in the first lap.
Yeah, he's driving the little...
At Monza. A track different for overtaking.
Yeah, he's driving the socks off it. He's driving the socks out of that car, and now he's really streets ahead of Perez. Now he's just
acting like a world champion.
Yeah, and I think it's looking inevitable now, but never say never. I think he'll enjoy this championship way more than last year's, and he'll feel like he's earned it. Hopefully, he'll feel like he's earned it legitimately. Not saying that I don't think he did or didn't. But for him personally, as a driver, I would prefer to win it by crushing my opponents as opposed to some shady Nicholas Latifi falling off the track incident.
Again.
Where's my tinfoil hat?
Just, Nicholas Latifi falling off the track again.
Again? Yeah. So Verstappen, good race. We've agreed that. Bad race.
I think, there's a couple more good races. I think Sainz specifically and Hamilton equally, but not quite. Well, not equally, not quite as much. They both went from Sainz with 19th, was 18th. Hamilton was 19th, finished 4th and 5th. Right?
Yeah.
Sainz got up to 4th within 20 something laps, right? Hamilton was up there by the end of the race. He was in 5th.
He got stuck, didn't he, Hamilton, behind Gasly?
Sainz cut through all that pack. He went through everyone. That is some race. That is, you've got to, you know.
He sneaked one just before like the virtual safety car as well.
Yeah, I mean, he was pushing it. He was trying his hardest.
Yeah, and and it was good to see the minions in the pits didn't make a mistake.
That was awful.
They didn't make a mistake, really, I don't think.
I like delivery on the car, but the yellow jumpsuits were just laughable.
And just, did they not think of the minions when they did it?
No.
They just...
And Benito does suit the Gru kind of look.
There's been some classic memes on that.
Yeah,
that's a good race. That is a good race.
Yep. And then I have to say, Guan Yu Zhou, 10th for for Alfa Romeo. I think he did well as well. And obviously Nick De Vries.
We can talk about all this now. That young man.
Yeah.
That young man is going places.
Is he though?
Are all the seats taken next year?
No. But he's been knocking on F1's door for a long time. He's been waiting. You know, he's been Formula 2 champion. He's been Formula E champion. You know, why hasn't he been picked up to Formula 1 before?
So why? How come he's always been the bridesmaid?
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have that magic. He doesn't have a spark. But I think what he's done has shown, you know, with an hour and a half's notice for Q3 or for FP3, he's jumped in a car and nailed it. You know,
he nailed it, and
he might not have the magic people want, but it's hard to argue with the numbers. You can't argue with the clock.
Where did our friend Latifi end up?
He's 21st again in the driver championship.
He's battling with Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg, yeah.
That man.
Hulkenberg's ahead of him because of alphabetical order.
Damn it. The alphabet beat me this year, but not next year.
Yeah, otherwise...
Change your name.
Latifi would be 22nd, right? Yes, 22nd.
Yeah. He needs to change his name, that boy. Well, he got ahead of K-Mag.
I think it shows that car, you know, Alex Albon, everyone knows he's a really good driver, right?
Yeah,
He's got a lot of experience in Formula 1. He's driven multiple different cars. It's not surprising when you put him in the Williams, he did well, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And the fitness level.
It could be a good car, and it could be a combination of a mediocre car and a good driver, right?
Right.
But now you're putting Nick De Vries in there, who is not race ready, physically, mentally, experience-wise.
Well, even psychologically, he admitted he hardly got any sleep the night before.
Yeah, he was knackered, right? But he goes and he gets more points than Latifi scored in the last 2 seasons. You know what I mean?
Got to be the wake-up call for Williams, isn't it?
Yes, Nick De Vries did well, but it highlights again how bad Latifi is.
So it's not Nicholas Latifi's merit. It's
not Nick De Vries's merit.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
It's partly that. It is partly that, but it's also shown how much Latifi's holding them back.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem to care. I saw him in the interview at the end, and he just smiling away like this, showing his teeth. Just going,
but he's Canadian.
I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, and it's like, dude, at least show that you're annoyed, or show that you must know that this is it for you. But maybe he does know.
There's at least a little fuck given, you know.
Yeah.
It looks like there's zero.
But do you think the guy knows? He just knows he's out, and that's it.
He totally knows he's out. They've had a conversation.
Have they?
Yep. And he's been.
You were outside the door in the pits, man. You were like.
Yeah. Yost came and saw me afterwards.
Yeah.
And he's been told that his seat is dependent on his performances.
Don't.
It's that. You know,
where is the dull button? Hold on. I'm sorry.
At the moment, he is being outperformed.
Just
No!
Yeah. Now performed, and you can't hide that.
there's no hiding it now. You can't just say, "Well, Alex
No.
Albon's good." Well, actually, we put on someone. We found him in the street. This guy.
No, hang on. Not being funny, they found him in the coffee bar.
Really?
He was having coffee upstairs. He got a phone call from Mercedes, who is his employer. He's part of the Mercedes driver pool. They phoned him. They said, "Get yourself down to." I'll come
Does
and
money
see you.
change hands when this happens? So, like when they say, "Can we borrow a driver?" Do you have to go? Well, it's going to cost you. Do you think money changes hands? That's an interesting question, isn't it? Because if you're contracted to a team and their little driver, or like I like to call it the kindergarten team, you know, just like a little playpen of drivers that the Mercedes have got. Can we
That's
borrow one of
my
those out of the playpen?
Subjects, actually. But so football players, right? They get a bonus for they get a basic wage, right? And then they get paid extra for playing a game. They get a win bonus, they get a score bonus, they get all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's like tiered stuff. So I'm assuming that and if anyone else knows differently, please
Comment, for the love of God.
Yeah.
Comment. I don't care if it's awful. Just say something, people.
So I think that
I'm
yeah,
angry.
you get a wage, right,
Yeah.
for your job, which is the public appearances, the sim racing, the track days, all that kind of stuff, the PR stuff, right? But then if you're a pool driver and you get to race, then I think Nick De Vries got a bonus, right?
Right.
So Mercedes cover the majority of those costs, but the race, if Williams want a Mercedes pool driver to race for them, they have to pay Mercedes driver pool an amount to cover his costs. And I think that's how it will work. So yes, there would have been financial implications, but they would have had insurance against Alex Albon getting sick. You know, he can't perform, so they've got insurance to cover that cost and Or that's, if I was in business, that's what I would be looking at, having those kind of safeguards in position, because it's going to be expensive for another driver. So let's have insurance in place so that if you're medically incapable of driving, then there's a backup that's an affordable.
And then there's a whole insurance thing as well, where, God forbid, there was a horrendous accident. And old Nick De Vries, they might, I don't know.
That would be the race driver in the car. So it would be like as a dive operator, you have insurance in case somebody dies while they're diving with you, right? You have accident insurance, right?
Yeah.
As the operator, but as the dive instructor, you can do it as well. And as the diver, you can have insurance as well.
Personal insurance.
The personal insurance.
Like that old rumor that Eric Clapton's fingers were like insured for like 10 billion or whatever. I don't know. Remember that years ago? Oh, he's such a great.
Naomi Campbell's legs were insured for a ridiculous amount of money as well, or something like that. Yeah, people's body parts being insured, but yeah, there's all different levels of insurance. So I would think that yes, there was probably insurance, but that was one of the things that was mentioned in the Nicholas Latifi subject, is that with Doralton Capital, Williams don't need to worry about money now. They've got
is it
large
Safina or whatever? What is it? The sponsor, So he just brings all that money along.
Yeah. So they don't need to. They've got Doralton Capital who are providing money. They've got a budget cap now, so everybody is a lot more money savvy, and they're not competing against. It's not as an important aspect now. And Jos Capito has actually openly said that they don't need to pay drivers anymore. They need drivers that are going to develop the team. And at the moment, Nicholas
and it becomes a case of, well, coming ninth earns money. So you may be bringing your cash to it, but if you could, if I get a driver that consistently gets into 9th or 10th, I'm going to be earning that much money anyway. Maybe not as much, but
then it's not just the it's not bringing bank one time, right?
Yeah.
If they get somebody that wins a championship, or if they get someone that wins a race, even how much more merchandise are they going to sell over that weekend?
It's like the unseen kind of.
Yeah, it's the brand loyalty that they're going to build.
Yeah, there's no point in having all the money in the bank if your car's at the back.
Yeah,
with Nicholas Latifi in charge.
There's a lot of Williams brand loyalty because of yesteryear, and all the
history, heritage, and history.
Yeah, exactly. And that is important, but there's a whole new breed of F1 fan out there that don't know anything about Williams or Frank Williams.
They couldn't tell you who won the 1992 Formula One World Championship.
They couldn't draw the car with all.
Which year? 1992.
92 was probably for Williams. Would be in Mansell, was it?
Oh, thank God! You've stolen my face. They couldn't tell you that.
No.
So that's what I mean. They're not interested. It's for the older fan to know that. Well, the moderate to the older fan. Excuse me.
The fan that's been a fan for a while.
Yeah. You don't remember the days when it was just 9 points for a win. Oh, those are the days. You had to fight for 1 point. 1 point. No fastest lap. Here we go again. I'm going to find some old time music every time I go into this mode.
Right, so they were the good races. Who are the bad races?
As much as it pains me to say it, you got to feel for Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah. He was having a good race.
He was.
Had to move over again.
Did you hear his radio when his engine gave up?
No, go on.
Oh, sad, man. Oh, lost me engine. Engine just died, and he sounds so pissed. And he was having a good race up until then.
He was having a great race. It was one of his better races. Maybe he's better on this track as well. Having won it last year, better knows the track better, and he was having a great race.
They set up the car,
and for McLaren that was bad because of the Alpine situation. They needed that double points finish, and so it's not his fault, but it's a bad race for him because of his situation.
It was a bad race, similarly for Aston Martin.
Yeah,
they are from bad to worse,
and they were so good at the first couple of races.
Yeah, but so are Haas, and then, but it's as for Lawrence Stroll, you've got to be questioning your business acumen there. You've got to be thinking, right, what's going on? Is it, yes, I understand they're revamping the company and owned that company for 2 or 3 years now. They should be. I don't know what the lead time is for getting that corporate change. That the reliability should be improving at least. They've got a solid engine. They've got is it a Mercedes engine they've got?
I'm going to say yes because no one's listening. A bad race. Go on.
Yeah, it's a Mercedes engine, so they should have the reliability on the Mercedes. So why have they not got it in the car? What's going wrong with the car? It's not the engine that's having a lack of reliability.
They got a world champion in the seat as well. You can't,
Yeah. So they had a bad race.
He's having not a good season, old Seb, is he?
Yeah.
For his last one. I want him on the podium once this year.
Yeah,
there's a few people I think deserve to get, or I would love to see on the podium. Ricciardo, I would love to see as a swan song on podium. Vettel, another swan songy kind of podium. And Lewis Hamilton, I want him on the podium this year. Yeah. And it's just, again, another solid race for Russell. I mean, he's crushing it.
Yeah, he is.
Bar having a win, he's crushing it, isn't he?
He's just gonna, and what the one thing that disappoints me about Russell is his public persona has changed massively from when he was with Williams. With Williams, he was off the leash and he could say what he wanted, and but with Mercedes, he's part of the machine. He's doing the press releases, he's doing the sound bites he's allowed to say. You know, it's just too corporate. His commentary on it all.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do.
But it's all just the same thing he says every week. We're consistent.
Yeah.
Even with a bad car, we're getting it on the podium. It's
we didn't think. I think.
Let's just sit here and write next race's comment from Russell now. We could write it now.
Is play Mercedes press junket bingo.
Yeah, we had a good race. You know, even though we're not up with Red Bull and Ferrari, we're still getting on the podiums.
They had a faster car than us today.
They had a faster car than us today. Yeah, I just couldn't get the tyres working. That's always a great one. That's literally like, I don't know. You know, I just couldn't get the tyres working. Couldn't get them working. They were going round. That's what you got to do. Just get them spinning.
I'd like to thank everybody on the track
at the factory and all the hard work they do.
Factory and
Bracknell. We just couldn't get the tyres working today. The back end was slipping out on me, but we're consistent. And even though we're not as fast as Red Bull or Ferrari, we're getting on podiums, and that just says it all.
See, now there's a little bit of that in him, right? And when he's asked about Lewis, there's that side of it comes out, you know, that he plays down his performance. You know, we were Mercedes, we're not doing well, and he's fucking knocking it out of the park. He's trying really
once he wanted to go into a press conference and just I'm really happy. I got on the podium and I crushed Lewis Hamilton, and then just walk off.
Off season, he's going to do it. He's going to do it Abu Dhabi.
yeah, just right in and just go. I just wanted to say that I destroyed my teammate.
We just have a really, Robbie. We got the concept wrong in the car. We've struggled with porpoising. We can't dial in the tires, and I've crushed my teammate every race.
Crushed him, and he's an 8-time world champion.
I've crushed the goat every
yeah, I've crushed goat. Crushing is my middle name. My job is to crush a goat.
Did you see those? George Russell's the kind of guy who.
No. Go on.
Have you not seen them?
No.
George Russell's the kind of guy who slaps his thighs before he stands up and then says, right. You know, like there's a whole load of them.
I'm gonna have to look these up. I like a good meme. Who else had a good race? Leclerc. You got to feel for the guy. Feel for the guy. We will talk about it in good race, bad race. We're doing that now. I mean, pit talk. Well, we'll talk about it. But Leclerc, especially in front of that car, the booing was going on. The booing of Verstappen.
Yeah, but the Max fans have been doing that to everyone else.
Yeah, Max fans, as we know from first-hand experience, are crazy. And Super Sub Steve said the same thing when he went to the race. He said they're absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
And that music, no wonder they're crazy listening to that music, that crazy Euro disco pop crap. I'm going to put it out there now. Sorry, Verstappen fans, your music sucks.
I'm going to see if I can find the version of Let It Be.
Well, copyright struck that one now. Go on, just see if we can play it in context.
But it's going to take me a while to find it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just crack on. I'll hold fort here. Yeah, I'll hold fort. Okay, who else has a bad race? I don't think Perez is having a good time at the moment.
No.
What was wrong with Perez? He had a little bit of damage, did he?
I don't know. Let's hope he did.
There was something up with his car, wasn't there? Overheating brakes, that was it. He had smoky brakes.
Brakes went on fire at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, they did go on fire while sat on the grid.
Yeah, coming out. But he still managed 6. That's how it's not too bad.
It's not second though, is it?
No.
Obviously it's not second. It's 6th. You want it?
You can tell you're a maths teacher.
Yeah. Here we go. Whoa, well done, Wayne. Wayne identified the difference between 2 and 6. Lando Norris, I think it was just it's still a kind of a pedestrian. They need to be getting amongst the Mercedes.
Absolutely messed up the start.
Lando, yeah, went backwards. If Daniel Ricciardo's getting in front of you at the start, you've got to reconsider your career. Oh God, that was nasty. That was nasty.
I was watching sailing, CLGP,
Right.
and they used a Fangio quote.
Oh wow. Is it broadcastable? It's from a different age.
Yes,
you never know these old people.
It was about the start, how important the start is of a race.
Right. And you can hear podcast listeners, so you can hear him going while he Googles this quote that he knows that he runs his life by this quote, but he can't remember it. Isn't that funny?
No, I don't remember like that. I only learned it today.
Oh, all right. Easy.
I'll try and find it for you and drop it in later.
So tell me about Lewis Hamilton's race, though. I mean, did he get stuck behind? Who did he got stuck behind in AlphaTauri? Was it Gasly or was it the other one?
Well, Gasly got stuck behind Ricciardo, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a bit of a moving chicane, Ricciardo, at the start. God love him.
Because the Gasly is quoted saying that he's been having nightmares about his back wing, about Danny Rick's back wing.
Really?
Because he watched it for so long, yeah.
Wow. Who else had? Let's go down the order here. Let's see. Good race, bad race. So Joe Guan Yu, you liked his performance?
He had a really good race.
Yeah, another Alpha team. Which one is it? Alfa Romeo. Bottas. Not a good race for Bottas. What's happened to that man? I'm gutted. And why is he still wearing that hat in press conferences? What's going on? Did you see him in the press conference?
Who's that?
Bottas,
yeah.
Still wearing the bucket hat. I'd like that. I'm going the bucket hat. I'm going to be different. Everybody else can wear base cap, not me. Not me. Bucket hat it is. Tsunoda, not good, really, for AlphaTauri. Mick Schumacher had a nice tasty little battle with...
Mick Schumacher had a good race.
He had a tasty little battle with Nicholas Latifi. I know it's Nicholas Latifi, but he still had a good little battle, didn't he?
Back and forward with him, yeah.
A little bit of a back and forth. K-Mag, the beauty of the man that is, did not have a good race, unfortunately. Where's my K-Mag music? Why is that not so loud? I can't hear that, but it's K-Mag, isn't it? He was moaning about stuff though, wasn't he? So K-Mag, not such a good race. I think we've covered just about everybody, haven't we? What are you doing?
Trying to find that quote.
Back that quote that you learned about the start. Where did you learn it from? Where did you hear it?
I was watching CLGP.
Okay.
One of the Fangio quotes is to the if you want to finish, the most important thing about finishing a race is finishing the race.
I love those quotes. Those quotes are just...
You must first finish. That was it. He says it all.
I thought it was about the start of the race. I thought that's what you were...
No. The quote that I'm about, the one that I'm looking for is about that. So what's the time now? Should we go to Murray and then we come back and we do pit talk? What do you reckon? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
So there's a Murray.
Where is he? Up there? Is it there?
Murray.
So easy to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Murray. Thank you, Murray. Clap for Murray. Gotta love a bit of Murray.
Yeah, and I have to say, Murray helped me with the Fangio quote.
He helped you. He just told you. Did he whisper?
Yeah, he just told me.
Up on high. Did he?
He
Go
said,
on.
"It's you don't always win the race at the start, but you can perfectly lose it at the start."
Beautiful. Well worth the wait there. Well worth the wait from Fangio.
What Norris did.
Yeah, he definitely. He could have.
He loved it.
Do you think he could have finished higher, Norris?
I think so. Yeah. There was as Verstappen and Sainz and everyone showed, there was places to be had early in that race.
Early in the race, maybe even Perez at the end of the race. He was but if you look where he finished, he was. Let me see, +2, +3. He was 6 seconds behind Perez.
Your video keeps pausing, by the way. There you go.
Hello, am I still moving?
Yeah, you're moving now.
Okay. Yeah. I just noticed while I was bored sitting there that if I just move my head there, just behind my ear, you can see a picture of Lewis Hamilton. No, you can't. Not this clearly. Only if you do. There's a signed photo of Lewis, the goat there. There's a signed photo. Okay, so let's go. I'm sure the podcast listeners love that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they love that.
Who's listening in black and white? The red ball's on the black one.
Yeah, it's a classic quote. So let's go to Pit Talk. Yay! Pit Talk. Yay! That was good. Pit Talk. Okay, Pit Talk. Let us talk about the actual race. Let's talk about what do you want to talk about? How, like I said, the race was great up until the end. What are your thoughts, young man?
So there's two parts of this conversation.
It's a two-part, people.
The headline that I put down is penalties.
Okay.
Right? So basically, grid penalties and safety cars really is what it comes down to. As a lot of the commentators said over the weekend, it's confusing, the grid penalties, because F1 are trying to get new followers in. They're trying to get people to watch the qualifying. They're trying to get you invested to watch Q1, Q2, Q3. And then you watch all them, and then you look at the grid, and it's nothing like the end of Q3, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you think they need change? Is there a better way to do that? They shouldn't have unlimited numbers of engines. There should be some kind of trade-off. But what's a better way of doing it? Do you think there's an issue?
Maybe points deductions. That's if you got points. If you're Nicholas Latifi, ain't going to make much difference, is it?
Yeah, and to the teams, I mean, they're not going to get much. So do you end up with minus points? Do you have to give money back? Is it a fine at the end of the season? I mean, how would
I think you could still keep your money, but it would have a more on the outcome of the championship. If you're changing engines, just 5 points or something. Work something out where the qualifying isn't ruined, the race isn't ruined. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing them at the back fighting their way forward.
Okay, so how do you stop teams? You'd need to implement Parc Fermé earlier, so that after qualifying, I don't think they're allowed to do certain. I think they're allowed to change their power unit after Parc Fermé, aren't they?
No, I don't know. I thought you were the man in the pits. I'm just the nostalgia guy. I really.
Thanks.
I think there must be there must be F1 rules PDF. It's going to be about 700 pages.
It's going to take you 3 weeks to download it.
Yeah. I'll get back to you.
What you've got to try and stop is people.
Here we go. The 2022 Formula One regulations, FIA. It's a PDF. It's a PDF. I think this is going to. Oh my God.
4 gigabytes.
How many pages? It's 112 pages, published on the 18th of February 2022, issue 4.
Well, my point is, how do you stop teams from absolutely blowing the back end out of an engine in qualifying, run it as hard as you can, and then putting a new engine in for the race? There's got to be, they're trying to promote sustainability. They can't be using 5-6 engines a season and throwing them away. At the moment, it looks like everyone can get away with 5, possibly 4 engines a season. So maybe they just need to change that. There we go.
Right, 2022 Formula One sporting regulations. I always love it when they cross things out in PDF form. Why can't they just erase it? I don't understand. This is the 2022 Formula One sporting regulations published the 18th of February. I mean, I can pop this in the chat and you can go for it. Look at all the crossings out. What's going on? Article. I'm going to keep this on my desktop for ready for another. What's this bit? No competitor may use LTCs whose design, including. Oh my God, trawling through this. What's this? What's that in purple? Competitors' applications. 112 pages.
I'll send you straight to sleep, mate.
Jesus, I'm a teacher. I've seen
probably about 90 pages if they take out all the deleted stuff.
Yeah, it's probably a pamphlet. As such, testing scheduled at a circuit hosting an event competition. Why have they crossed the word of the championship? Why have they crossed the word competition out? What's the deal there? It's a competition, isn't it? For crying out loud. What's Friday free practice?
That's legalese for you, mate. Right, let's get back to the.
Okay, I'll stop sharing that then. Okay, how do I do that?
So, there needs to be something done about that, I think.
Yeah.
That's quite a popular thing. The other thing that everyone was harking on about was finishing behind the safety car.
Right, now this is the one I personally think this has got to stop. I'm of the mind where we're over safety conscious to a certain extent. Right, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to take
me through what should have happened then in your mind.
Right, now that particular instance. Okay, yeah. I'm going to talk about the virtual safety car. There was absolutely no need for that. There was no need for it. He parked at that place, and quite clearly, they just had to pull that car backwards, and it was done. The job was done. Okay.
Yeah, but they still had to put marshals on the track.
They're not on the track, are they? They're on the side of the track.
Right. Still, there's cars traveling around there at high speed. Right.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
You're absolutely right. Okay.
We know what can happen. Marshals are humans. They can think. They're in the heat of the moment. They can make poor decisions. Right. So you need to make as much. The thing about health and safety is where practicable is.
I just don't like the inconsistency of it. Right.
Yes, I get that, but let's talk about how that situation could be managed differently, though.
Let me just show you a picture here, right? And you know what I'm going to show you. Probably something that's... Where have I put this here? I've just saved it somewhere and it's gone missing now. That's typical. Where have I just saved it? Have a yawn. You have a yawn. I'm sorry, people. If I'm... Save image as. Let's go there. Desktop iCloud save. Yeah,
don't
that's what I did. Showing Finder. Where is it? Why have I got that there? Oh, right. Let me just share the screen, right? Let's just share the screen here. Share screen. Desktop 2. Share. Okay, you can see that, right? What are these guys here? Yeah. While that guy's going around the corner. I know it's a bit small, guys. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can zoom in. What's going on here, right? Don't tell me about marshals on the track, right?
They're behind the barrier.
Yes, it's about the direction of the car, correct? Yes.
The
likelihood of them getting hurt, but look at them. How close are they? They're literally on the track.
But how is a car going to hit them?
Well, how's a car going to hit those people who are pulling a car back into that where he stopped?
Right.
And the cars are going that way in the opposite direction. I'm sorry, this ruins the races, especially when there's a car that can easily be retrieved. What are you doing?
I'm drawing a picture.
Oh, wow. That's on the track, okay? It's this inconsistency with the tracks and the safety. These guys I haven't got no problem.
Right? Hang on.
Oh, I've got to stop sharing. Okay, podcast listeners, we've been drawing a picture. I'm showing a corner. Let me just explain to the podcast listeners. I'm showing a corner on Monaco, the chicane after the tunnel, where there are marshals stood literally next to cars going around corners. Now, the direction
behind the barrier.
They're not behind the barrier there, are they? You can see their feet. You can see their feet.
But
you wouldn't be able to see their feet if they were behind a barrier.
Okay, but they are away from the direction of travel.
Okay, the direction of travel for those cars was going away from those marshals.
Yes. Right. And at no point, if they have to cross that line, then the car should be stopped. Correct? Agreed?
Okay, I'm talking of what line?
The line where their toes are.
The line where the track?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you concede to me these guys are a little bit closer to being on the track than the marshals were at Monza?
Yes. Agreed.
Yes. Agreed. Thank you.
Right. No.
It's not a win. You're gonna I'm gonna stop sharing. So where you go? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Oh,
but all podcasts, this is a very technical drawing.
Right. So here is the direction of travel in the arrow, right? And we've got the little indentation at the side of the track where Sebastian Vettel pulled his car off.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the marshals have to come out from this indent here, this marshal's here, and come out to the car, right? Which means they've got to come out round the car onto the track.
Not onto the track. They weren't on the track, were they?
Yes. Yes.
Is that the track? That grass bit?
The grass was. They could have stepped onto the grass.
Okay.
Off the grass, right? And that's my point. That marshal in the famous clip where he get absolutely wiped out by the car, he just nipped across to get a fire extinguisher. He thought he was doing the right thing, right? If you come out of there in the heat of the moment, if you nip out of there, run around the front of that car onto the track to push it backwards, and you're not thinking about it, you run a little bit too far out, just as a car is coming, boom, right? I totally agree that it should have been a virtual safety car to enable that car to come off the track, to be pushed back into that marshal's post.
Let me see where he was. Oh, Monza. Monza retire. In images, let's go for this. Let's find this image. We're going to get a billion pictures because he's been to Monza a few times. Jesus, he's retired a lot in Monza. Wow, I've just got lots of pictures of him going through. I just can't see it's a balance of probabilities, isn't it? Yeah, I personally think that picture at Monaco, the probability of a marshal getting hit or injured is a higher probability than that position in Monza. I just think there's an inconsistency there. We can agree there's an inconsistency.
Yeah.
Are you trying to find the picture of it? I couldn't find the picture.
I'm trying to find where it was on the track that he pulled off.
There was grass. They weren't running right alongside the car when they were going. Go on, have you got the picture?
No, not yet.
I just think there's an inconsistency. I think I'm old school though. You know that. I've just watched the 1992 Formula One Monaco Grand Prix where they just literally ran onto a track and dragged cars off while the race is still going on.
Yeah, but we've seen what happens.
We've seen once what happens. Yeah, that's someone crossing the track. That's someone crossing the track, isn't it?
It's still not. Right, there's a picture there. Let me see if I can.
So let's have a look.
Share my screen.
There's a time and.
Yeah, share screen. Here you go.
Okay.
Oh, you've disabled it.
Wait a minute. Multiple. Go. Do it now. Right.
He is quite far off, and he is on tarmac, but still, he came round that corner, and pulled over to the side.
Right.
Right now, marshals can get excited and run onto that track.
You're infantilizing. You're infantilizing highly trained people here. Excited. They're not puppies.
No. I'm not saying that, but you've got to work to the lowest common denominator no matter what you're doing, haven't you?
No, that's a race to the bottom, though, isn't it? Isn't that a race to the bottom?
It's also been covering all potential.
You can't. Joe Guanyu's crash.
You can.
Joe Guanyu's, as much as you can, to a certain extent, but you've got to give people
wherever practicable, and they've got a method in place that is practicable. They put in a virtual safety car. They know how fast the cars are going. They know when they're coming around. They're slowed down. They find a gap. They run out and they push it back.
I just think a lot of this happens in the races, and don't get me wrong. If you've whacked it into the arm car and there are bits of car all over the track, fine, do your safety car fun or whatever. But when it's just a car that's stopped next to an easy way to clear it off the track, I don't see the value.
You're admitting it's on the track.
Don't you dare to say that's a gotcha moment, okay?
I'm not.
On the side of the track is not the racing track. It's not on the racing line. It's on the side of the grass. And he could have they just go out, they roll that baby back, the race can continue. I just think
and that's why a virtual safety car was put in.
You can't make contingency plans for all outcomes. Joe Guanyu crash could have flipped over that fence, and we've seen that happen in previous races.
It's not as disruptive as a full safety car. And it's
not. But you know that they put a full safety car sometimes out that's unnecessary as well. They do that unnecessarily.
But sometimes they don't put a safety car out when it is necessary. Sometimes, like at the end of the race, they should have red flagged it, cleared the track, stopped everyone lap 40, 47 or 48, whatever it was, cleared the track and started lap 49. Off you go. Thanks very much, lads. Crack on.
I think if there's, can you stop sharing the screen? Stop sharing the screen. Stop sharing the screen. Because it gives me a headache in editing. I think if you're 10 laps away from the end, then there should be a contingency, and where they stop, red flag the race. If it's a likelihood that the race will finish under a safety car, red flag the race, stick them all on new tyres and stick them on the grid in the racing order for the last 10, and I have a 10-lap sprint.
I think that's what they're looking at, or it's not even 10 laps, it's the remainder of the race.
No, I'm saying that would be the rule would be, if it's the last 10 laps and there's a likelihood, yeah.
I think
red flag the race.
That should have been what happened. Yeah.
That should have been what happened, because which has implications for like the end of last year's race as well. But
you can't retrospectively put in.
I know that, but
I can still vocalize it.
Don't you step on me
because you don't like it.
I just think that that there's going to be lots of times where I think a virtual safety car, just because it's difficult to move it off the track, I think these are highly trained professionals. They're not going to start running around like puppies on the track. I just think with today's technology, they've all got the little earpieces in. And I think you'll find, like during the 80s and 90s, how many instances of marshals were being killed.
But risk against reward, right? The risk of losing somebody's life or losing 2 laps of virtual safety car, behind a virtual safety car, losing 2 laps of racing.
Well, then they wouldn't even go racing, would they, if there was a risk reward?
The
risk of losing life.
Drivers, these are the volunteers at the side.
Well,
right?
Okay, you're saying they have less value or more value?
No, I'm saying that the driver gets in the car knowing that he's putting his life at risk.
So do those marshals.
In the car,
those marshals do.
Every single time he gets in the car. Not every time they go to work. Not every time they go onto the track are they putting their life at risk. Every time there's an incident, they're putting their life at risk. But incidents don't happen that often, right? So from the marshal's point of view, the risk against reward, 2 laps of racing under a safety car or losing the life. I'm sorry, safety car is going to win every time.
Pure emotivism there. Well done. You're winning it on a purely emotional factor and you're not being rational about it.
It doesn't matter how we win.
Well, it does, doesn't it?
That's what you've got to look at. I think they've got it right in that aspect. I think at the end of the race, it should have been a red flag. like you say, within a window towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I think so. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Let's stop this finishing under a safety car thing. If there's a likelihood of that, new boots on everybody, get them lined up on the grid. Let's have a little bit of a sprint to the end.
Exactly. Right. Moving on. A couple of other things that I've heard around about the.
How is Alex Albon getting on?
He had a bit of a tricky one with his appendectomy.
Do you know what I think that is? What was it? He had what did he have? Respiratory pneumonia? What did he have?
No, he had respiratory issues.
Too many cats.
Oh yeah, okay. You twat.
Too many cats. That's been known. You're around too many cats, you get respiratory problems.
Yeah, I certainly do.
Do you? There you go. Heard it here first.
Okay. A couple of things. Monaco has been confirmed for next season.
Completely safe. That's why. No need to upgrade the safety there, do we, people? All those runoff areas, completely safe. Nothing to do with cold hard cash. That is it. I'm such a bitch. I'm sorry.
Alex Albon suffered with unexpected post-operative anaesthetic complications, which led to respiratory failure. There you go.
So unexpected. So he had what first? What was his first?
He had appendicitis, and they put him on. They gave him an anaesthetic, and he had unexpected post-operative anaesthetic complications, which are.
It sounds like jargon for he nearly copped it.
They're known but uncommon complications.
That's a doctor saying I nearly killed him.
He was re-intubated and transferred to intensive care for support.
If you're in intensive care, mate, there's a reason.
Yeah, but he was out the next day.
What? Out or just in a high dependency? Moved from intensive care to high dependency, or out?
He was. He made good progress overnight and was able to be removed from mechanical ventilation yesterday morning, and has now been transferred to general ward and is expected to return home tomorrow. So that's 3 days he was in.
So do you think he's going to be recovered for the next race? It's got quite a while to the next race. If he's out of hospital, I'll Nick de Vries super sub. That's a shame. I want to see that boy race again. Yeah,
that would be good. So Monaco's confirmed for next year. And let's talk about the ongoing saga of Lawrence Stroll's ownership of Aston Martin.
Please do. I know nothing about this. You tell me.
Very well. But, it's not going very well on track. It's not going very well off track. He's managed to keep Seb Vettel for 2 years. But he, there's a lot of disruption. There's a lot of movement in people. You have to bring in different people and whatnot. But they've just started a young driver program.
Really?
Like Mercedes have got a young driver pool, and Red Bull have got a driver pool, and Renault have got a driver pool, and now Aston Martin have got a driver pool, right? So as you know, Max Verstappen joined the Red Bull driver program when he was 9 or something, 11, right? All the way through. George Russell joined the Mercedes program when he was still
just after he was born.
He was a zygote.
I booked him as soon as the little pregnancy test with the woman. Right, we're having him.
But Aston Martin have gone for the other direction.
Old people.
Pretty much.
I like that a lot. It gives me hope. I might contact them. I'm going to contact them.
A driver development program means you find young drivers and you develop them over their career, building them up to Formula One, right?
Okay.
So Aston Martin have started a driver development program. The first person in it is Drugovic, who has just won the Formula 2 championship.
Who? Drugovic?
Oh,
all right.
Right?
Not the tennis player then. Okay.
So there's Formula 2 is...
How old is he first? How old is he?
For those who don't know, Formula 2 is the feeder program for Formula 1.
Okay.
So this guy has had a successful karting career, lots of other championships, F3, F2, and now Aston Martin very kindly have stepped in and decided to teach him how to be a race driver.
Right. You've got a
Kinda
smirk. I'm not. Why are you laughing?
Right. Red Bull picked up Max Verstappen when he was in karting.
Right.
Right. That's a driver development program.
Oh, you're saying it's late in the day.
Mercedes picked up George Russell when he was karting. Driver development program. Right. Brought him all the way through the different formulas, all the Formula Ford, Formula Renault, all that kind of stuff, all the way up to Formula 3, Formula 2, and then Formula 1, right? Aston Martin made the bold move of
taking a Formula 2 driver.
No, the Formula 2 champion. How are you going to develop him? You basically got a standby driver, is what you've got, right? It's not a driver development program. You've got a standby driver. Stop giving it a big fancy name when it's actually a piece of shit program.
Maybe they're just... Maybe it's just a start. The first one is to start, and then they're going to walk around karting tracks looking for... I like the idea of old driver, the opposite. I like that idea. Hulkenberg's in that pen, the old driver development program.
Well, Mika Häkkinen's still on a sabbatical.
Mika Häkkinen, oh my God, that would be amazing. Kimi Räikkönen back again.
It was on this day. It was what
Damon Hill. How far do you go back?
Well, Villeneuve was in a Formula 1 car over the weekend.
I think that's show these young lads what the old.
Hey, do you imagine
So they could call it the driver redevelopment program.
Yep. Oh, everybody's upcycling these days, mate.
Upcycling, recycle. We don't need new. We'll get one of these old ones.
Masters Grand Prix.
Yeah, in the new cars with all the buttons. I'd be like, what the hell? Where's the gear stick?
Sterling Moss's hat flying off.
Don't give me that helmet. Just give me some goggles and a bit of leather. Put a bit of leather on me.
That'll protect me.
Yeah. Why are they stopping this race?
And
There's only 4 people dead. What are you talking about?
When I come in for a pit stop, I want a warm pint of bitter.
Yeah.
And a fag.
Yeah, cigarette. Flicking it down the pit lane as he gets back in the car.
Woohoo!
I'll put the petrol in. Get out of the way. I like that idea. The recycling Formula 1 drivers is the way to go. I mean, what are they doing all day?
If we get them off being pundits.
Yeah, bloody hell. Paul de Resta.
Yeah.
No, I like him. He's a nice chap, but he's a nice chap, but he didn't have a great career. Rosberg.
He's awful tall.
Rosberg's in some kind of weird quarantine for not taking the vaccine, isn't he? He's not allowed anywhere. I think he's locked in that room. I think that. He's not played ball. Yeah.
Deserves it.
Do you think so?
Risk. We're not getting into that.
Yeah. Okay. What else have we talking about in the pit stop? We've got that done.
Yeah.
We've got that done now.
That's all the news. The driver market's kind of gone quiet.
It's got a bit quiet now that speculation over Ricardo. There's still a bit of movement to go, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of movement.
I think next week.
We might hear next week. I think this week.
Should we do a predictions for teams next year? We could do a predictions for teams for next year. Next week we'll do that because it's still 2 weeks, isn't it? Till
no, Singapore is the 2nd of October.
Okay, so what's the date next week? We've still got another week before we can do our predictions. So we could do We could do that next week. I'll put together a highly technical Word document with pictures, and we'll pick our teams. We'll pick our teams. You know what time it is now, though, isn't it?
What?
It's time to do the predictions.
I'm ready to riot.
Not the predictions. Trying to take up our score.
The results, yeah.
And I'm really not looking forward to this. It's not.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Okay. Let me get the spreadsheet up, and I am prepared this time. Prepared. He says, trying to get rid of. Have you got the results in front of you, sir?
Yes, I do.
You get the results in front of you. Okay, let's get ready to share the screen. Okay, people. Share. Here it is. Okay, can you see that, people?
Yeah.
You can see that? Which pen am I going to use? I'm going to use the one in Microsoft Word. I've got this hang of this now. Otherwise, I end up with several pens. Okay. Have I got the right pen here? No, still not working. Please, can I have the pen? Thank you. This isn't. So you're on 138 points. I'm on 140 points. I'm 2 points ahead of you in the predictions. Now we're going to tally up our scores from the last predictions. If you guys who are listening to the podcast, if you want to pop along to YouTube, you don't have to listen to all of it again. We're not going to force you, but go right to the end. You can see how we do this. We're on YouTube. It's absolutely free to join YouTube and sign up and subscribe. It doesn't hurt for you to subscribe, people, or pop a comment in. But here we go. Just some filibustering here for the inevitable pain that is going to happen. So, should we total your points up first, sir? Who got pole position?
Pole position was. Well, hang on. Starting grid or quali pole position?
Starting grid. Come on.
Oh, it was the same. It was
Leclerc.
Yes.
So you don't get any points. So who got fastest lap?
Fastest lap was Sergio Perez.
No points for you there then. What was the fastest lap, sir?
1 minute 24.
Wow, it's a lot lower than we anticipated.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
So 1 minute 24 what?
0.030.
030. Well, I'm closest, aren't I? Obviously.
You're closest, yeah.
So I get. Oh, I think I've worked out a system. Okay, who won the race, sir?
It was Maximilian Verstappen.
Points, well done. Who came second?
Charles Leclerc.
2 points, well done. This is not looking good. Who come third? Well, you got one. George Russell. So you got a point for Perez. He was in the top 10. You got a point for Russell.
Yeah.
Where did Sainz come?
Carlos Sainz came fourth.
Oh, you just lucked out there. Got a point for him. Hamilton, you got a point for him. Oh my God. You got one out away.
Hang on. Yeah, one out.
Alonso didn't finish. Norris, you got a point for him, yeah?
Norris was seventh. Oh, one out again.
No, you could. This could have been a devastating.
Gasly. Oh, Gasly was one out as well. Gasly was the eighth.
And Albon, I think we can safely say he was in the hospital. Okay?
Can we use him as Nick DeVries?
No, we can't.
Oh, come on.
No way.
Come on.
I get 1 point for fastest lap.
You're kidding me. You're going to do that. Really, you're going to do that.
1 point for the GOAT, even though I didn't get a win, obviously. 1 point for Verstappen. Sainz third, 1 point. Russell, I get 1 point. Leclerc, 1 point. Perez, 1 point. Nothing.
Perez was six, so you get 2 points for Perez.
Oh, thank the Lord.
You're welcome.
All right, easy. Right, let's total them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're now at 148. Let's put that there for a second. 148. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we are level pegging. Oh. This is going down to the wire here, mister. Mm-hmm. Look at that, people. Okay, we're level pegging 148 each.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Well, hang on, who got pole? No, Hamilton. Who got fastest lap? Perez.
Perez, yeah.
Well, I could nip another point off you there.
Nah.
So we're level pegging, podcast listeners.
Of your twattery.
My twattery. What am I just getting fastest lap? That was a bit cheeky of me. So we're going to stop sharing. So where is the next race? Quickly run through Singapore. Is that a night race, sir?
Singapore, yes, it will be. It will be 8 o'clock lights out at Singapore local time. It's 2 o'clock UK time. 1 o'clock UK time.
We're going back to the darkness.
2nd of October.
Going back to the darkness. That makes me.
I like a night race, you know.
I like it. And what's the next race after that?
After that, it is Japan, then United States.
None of those are night races. Japan, what's that? Well,
Japan will be.
Is that the first Japan?
That's a 6
Suzuki.
in the morning.
Suzuki, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, that's a 6 in the morning one for us.
Japan always get that, don't they? That kind of 6 in the morning slot. They always stick with that. And then we've got USA. How many have we got left? How many has Verstappen got left to win?
He can win at the end of the next one, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of that. If there's a DNF, I suppose, or no points.
So Singapore next, then Japan, then USA, then Mexico, then Brazil, Abu Dhabi, and that's us finished. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is Abu
5.
Dhabi the one where it's daylight and then finishes in the dark?
Yes.
I like that. That's a nice little touch at the end of the season. Especially when Vettel won his first championship. Yeah. He won it there. And it was just, it was a great race.
I do like Yas Marina circuit. I like that whole setting, I like the track. I like that whole the whole schedule. The whole thing.
Yeah. Well, you like it. Well done. Okay, so that really must conclude the F1 Show podcast. Please join us again next week. I might have to do a bit of a nostalgia thing, and we could pick our teams for next year.
Yeah,
I think we should do that. I'll make myself a little. I'll make a Word document with some pictures on.
And how about we do the retro? If we do driver retreads, right? So. Drivers that are still about. So Damon Hill driving. Who would he be driving for now?
Damon Hill?
Yeah. Williams, wouldn't it?
He didn't have a good time at Williams at the end. They sacked him after he won the championship. He won the championship and they booted him. Williams were a bit like that back in the day. They sacked Mansell after he won the championship as well.
Yeah,
they were like, well done, thanks a lot.
Winners. That's why they've got Latifi.
I think they onto the wrong move there. What's going on? And maybe we could talk about. Go on.
Maybe we pick a year, or we pick a decade, and we find the winners from the 80s, right? The championship winners from the 80s, and we put them all into what would be their modern equivalent teams. That'd be 10.
I am thinking of doing a little spot about Formula One safety. I keep saying this in the 80s, and I was going to pick that 81 season and go through that and just have some photos and talk about that season because it's a very underrated. And I do want to show you some of the questionable safety. Safety is that it's just unbelievable. You wouldn't believe your eyes on some of it that they would just
keep Ernie back. That's just what people.
This is my tribute to Ernie. I will send him a message. I'll send an email and get Ernie back to talk about these kind of things. Talk about whether he thinks it's too safe.
I wonder what Ernie's view would be on the virtual safety car,
especially that virtual safety car. Particularly,
Ernie, if you're watching, let us know, mate.
Yes, I hope he's watching or listening. Ernie, we miss you, mate, and. Yeah, I'll give you an email and we'll get you back on to talk about how the season's going so far. Yeah. So that has been the F1 Show podcast. Let's see you later, people. Bye.
Yeah.
Have a good one.